Dr. Mickey Mehta, global leading holistic health guru and corporate life coach, the recipient of the Health and Wellness Icon of India, award by Economic Times, and is among the 100 most impactful wellness leaders of the world, as announced by the Global Wellness Conclave 2018. The first personal trainer of India, the first fitness columnist, and the first fitness TV and radio presenter in India, and still continues to educate us on these channels. The author of two very successful books, The Shunyam Quotient and Lose Weight, Gain Shape, with five more books in the pipeline. The only one in India to have an honorary double doctorate in holistic health and life sciences for integrated medicines. Has been invited to speak at the Harvard University, IITs, and IIMs across the world. Has the rare distinction of training the police, the army, the navy, and the air force. The coach to Miss Indias, Miss Worlds, Miss Universes, along and Bollywood biggies, politicians, and India Inc. billionaires. Recently joined to support the government's Fit India movement, the author, poet, philosopher, the brand, the institute, the legendary Dr. Mickey Mehta, who gets you energized, naturalized, optimized, maximized, wellness revolutionized, and gets you Mickey-mized. So I hand over to Mickey, and thank you very much, Mickey, for coming over. Let's start.
Thank you. Shoot me your first most challenging question. The most challenging question to mankind. Shoot me the first question.
I think you should start first. We'll ask you questions as we go along. Sir.
So what do I start and say? Let's dance, let's sing. No, I'm just joking. Okay, so yes, here we are. And mankind has distraught just now, completely disturbed with whatever is happening in this world. Primarily because man is unwell. Man himself has been sick for a long time. I can't concentrate, guys. There's so much disturbance in my ears. You have to mute all the audience, brother.
Done, Mickey. You can start.
Is everybody muted? Okay. So, yes, of course, man is unwell because man has made Mother Earth unwell. Everything was going wrong with mankind, and suddenly, this is no surprise that sometime in life, such calamities was just round the corner. This is a reset button and an awakening, a self-realization that we ought to course correct our life, our lifestyle, attitude, mentality, and everything that we feed ourselves with. The information we feed ourselves with, the food we feed ourselves with, the kind of workout we feed ourselves with, lethargy we feed ourselves with, and most importantly, every disease of mankind is seeded in the subconscious. Pride, anger, lust, envy, gluttony, avarice, sloth. Because of all these, mankind's immunity is at the lowest brink. At the point of collapse, rather, it has collapsed. Today, man becomes a vulnerable host to a virus, and a virus whose existential reality is nothing but a toxic purge from a toxic cell. And it has shattered the earth, shattered mankind. Why? Because man forgot to breathe well, regulated. Man forgot to cleanse himself, regulate himself, fortify himself. Man completely forgot what is stilling down, calming down, relaxing, composing, integrating, become whole, meditating. Man had forgotten to rest, a good night's sleep. Man had completely forgotten to eat wholesome, natural, vital food which is unpreserved, unprocessed, organic in nature, regional, seasonal. Man forgot how to move gracefully and exercise. Man forgot empathy, sympathy, compassion, benevolence, philanthropy, creativity, enthusiasm, joy, vision. Thus, the immunity got completely compromised and we are in a collapse situation. It's time to wake up. It's time to once again say good morning. Yes, from any point, we can turn around because the steering wheels are in our hands. We can become the co-creators of our own destiny. Let's become the co-creators of our own destiny. If change is constant, we can choreograph our own change. We can be the drivers of our own change. And we can change towards optimism, change towards healing the earth, healing mankind. The new science of epigenetics says that with your genes, you can program new memory, new behavior, new attitude, and make your genes express in a new way to change your physiology, biology, psychology, emotions, attitude, biochemistry, everything. The leading biologist of the world, Bruce Lipton, says, your belief can change your biology. Mickey Mehta says, your faith can change your physiology. Your breathing can change your hormonology. And meditation and prayers can change your psychology. So here we are at the point of big change. And let the change be for better. Champions are those who know that there is something within them which is superior to circumstance. Now, this circumstance is good enough for us to wake up and turn around. Okay, champions are also born out of challenges. You and me and everybody, we are gods in seed form. We are gods in seed form. Krishna, Christ, Muhammad, Shiva, Saraswati, Savitri, Buddha, Mahavira, Zarathustra, they were all human beings. They purified themselves. They did jap, they did tap. They became seers, they became wise, they could see beyond because they meditated, because they ate clean, because they were yogis. They were dhyanis, they were jnanis, they were yogis, not bhogis. Vairagya was their way of life. Aham Brahmasmi was in their attitude. Soham was in their behavior. Tattvamasi was in their thought process. Hindu Sanatan Dharma and our Sanskriti, our sanskaras. We are the land of Rishimunis. Yatha Pinde Tatha Brahmande. As is the universe, so can be the external universe, and as is the atom, so could be the cosmos. As is our internal universe, so could be our outside universe. And when the lines between the internal and the external universe dissolve, blur, and we become congruent, we complement each other. There is polarities, and there is harmony in polarities. We harmonize the polarities. So now let's go with questions.
Mickey, today the whole world is going aghast on Corona.
Haji.
How do you think we should take care of it in terms of our lifestyle, in terms of our immunity, and in terms of our habits?
So let me tell you, sir, that human consciousness is far superior to any ailment and disease. Ailment and diseases are like ants crawling, and human consciousness is there beyond the sky. But when human consciousness when gets compromised, we become vulnerable hosts. So how to increase and expand the human consciousness? Breath is primary to life. So regulated breath, very important. Pranayama, very, very important. So pranayama as propagated by Baba Ramdev, big boon to India. Dhyan, meditation, as propagated by Sri Sri Ravi Shankar ji, and Sadhguruji, big boon to India. Asanas as propagated by B.K. Iyengarji, Hansaji of the Yoga Institute, big boon to India. But we don't follow that path. We are born to be Shakaharis. Today, every other, forgive me, I have seen every other, or rather, some Hindus, Jains, Marwadis, Gujaratis, wanting to eat chicken, wanting to eat meat, wanting to have beer, wanting to booze, compromise their faculties. When faculties get compromised, immunity gets compromised. When your lungs get compromised, immunity gets compromised. When you don't breathe in and you smoke, immunity gets compromised. Even if you just don't breathe in a regulated way, immunity gets compromised. When you don't breathe in a regulated way, you are fearful because lack of oxygen is anxiety. Lack of oxygen translates into fear, phobias, anxieties, resentments, grudges, because then you latch on to the thoughts, negative thoughts which influence you. But when the flow of oxygen is in your body, well regulated, you become the flow, you get connected with the flow. Radha, the feminine consciousness, spirituality from inside flows out and becomes dhara and comes back. So we come into rhythm, we come into flow. And while we do yoga, also we are in the rhythm and flow. There are four most important pillars of wellness. Conserve your breath, preserve your body. Establish the flow and be in the rhythm. Your unit rhythm, circadian rhythm, should synchronize with the universal rhythm. The sunset, sunrise, moon phases, tides, the geomagnetic forces, time, matter, space, light, motion, mass, causation, effect, which are the forces of entropy. They break us down, they disintegrate us, they degenerate us. They bring disease and death. Death has no right on life. Death is the culmination of disease. And disease is the culmination of your doing and your choices. Let's choose evolution over entropy. So let's embrace Shuddha Shakahari Bhojan. Let's embrace Yoga. Let's embrace Patanjali Sutras. Let's embrace Pranayama. Let's embrace Dhyana. Let's embrace the Ashta Angas of Yoga. Yama, Niyama, attitude, discipline, getting organized. Pranayama, Asana. Pratyahara, internalization of senses. Dhyana, putting your attention to the field for manifestation. Dharna, sincerity, devotion. And Samadhi, ultimate expansion of consciousness. And man will live till he wants to live, unless he wants to embrace Santhara, Ichha Mrityu, Ichha Jivan, and let go of food, then let go of water, and then let go of breath with a smile. Vairagya, detachment. But not die to disease on hospital beds. So what is COVID? It is nothing. Nothing. You put these yogis and myself in the COVID ward, we will heal everybody and come back. But the problem is that this whole world's orientation is about injections, vaccinations, medicines, all chemicals, inorganic, harsh. Our Prime Minister Narendra Modi is the only person who says, do dhyana, do pranayama, do yoga, embrace Ayurveda, Arogya Setu app, haldi dudh piyo, kadha piyo. Is the only leader of the world who is showing the way that we can heal ourselves, we can be well. So there are reports coming out from China that China themselves are taking a lots of Tibetan and Chinese natural medicine. The most of the population of China, Hong Kong, Singapore, you go there, they are proliferating shops with local medicines. But our mindset in India is to discredit homeopathy, discredit Ayurveda, which are the best pillars, the most natural medicine, basically for immunity and to keep you away from any disease, anything that threatens you.
You mentioned so much. So, do you feel that these diseases like COVID or flu can be at least minimized or reduced, if not reversed, with immunity?
It can be reversed. You know, through pranayama, I came up with a particular breathing pattern during the COVID time in early April. And I call that breathing poison B. Poison B, poison for COVID. So prevention of infection seeding optimal nasal breathing. Prevention of infection seeding optimal nasal breathing. Now that breathing clears your respiratory tract, moves your diaphragm back and forth 12 to 13 centimeters, clears your 5 lobes of lungs, which retain old breath of even 20 years probably in the lowest lungs. Contaminated. Fills in fresh oxygen, then dilates your sinuses with heat, takes the body temperature above 96 to 98 degrees and kills the germs and bacteria in your sinuses first, then in your tract later, and even empty it out from the lungs. And your adenoids, which are behind your nose, which are your lymph nodes, they also drain the bacteria and germs and viruses. So that's the way to freedom. So even if the germ would enter, it will not integrate, it will not incubate, and it will not proliferate. So the breathing goes like this. Yeah. So you can do this 30, 40 times and then slow. Now this is the time to empty it. So do this 10, 15 times. Again, do the vigorous part, then do the slow part. So if you do this 3, 4 times in the morning, 3, 4 times in the afternoon before meals, and in the evening, promise you will be free. Yoga has the power. Ayurveda has the power. Not only that, your diabetes will go, your chances of cancer will go, your chances of asthma will go. Every disease and ailments could be tackled, but breathing alone sometimes won't help. You will have to do yoga. You will have to do meditation. Your food will be your medicine, so you will have to have Shakahari Bhojan. You'll have to have Yoga Nidra, sleep well, Shushupti ki Neend. You'll have to do Dhyan. You'll have to be reoriented and reorganized in your mind with optimism, affirmations, visualization. Heal yourself.
Mickey, you have also been saying that some
Yeah.
diseases like asthma, paralysis, etc., also can be reversed through these methods. And you have had some experience. Can you share with us something?
So yes, dealing with holistic natural medicine and looking after clients primarily who are terminally ill, who have challenging any disease. So I'm not a champion of one disease. I'm a champion of restoration of wellness. I'm not a Baba in saffron who will say ठीक हो जाओ तो सब ठीक हो जाएगा. I facilitate healing process through natural modalities. So Abhyangam, Nasyam, Vaman, Virechan, Basti, Shirodhara. These are various modalities of Ayurveda. So as per the need, as per the Prakriti, the constitution. So right from now paralysis, we have to understand what is the extent of damage. So even if the extent of damage has been long, we've still given 30-40% improvement to people. Improvement in the brain functions, thus the improvement in the psycho, neuromuscular, endocrine coordination. So it's so interesting, brother, that natural ways of life can just simply correct anything. There are experiences in my life where doctors would have said that in a matter of a few days, the person may cease to live. But with full family support and taking the same doctor on board and taking support, me and my team, we worked wonders with people and brought them back to life only by making them breathe a little regulated, giving them a lot of love and attention, repurposing their lives, getting them into hope and faith. So replace fear with faith and see the biochemistry changes immediately. See, what we feed our brain is what the biochemistry is released thereafter. So feed your brain with faith. And every cell, every genes will begin to express as every compass by default faces to north. Health and healing in human body also faces upwards, buoyancy, surging up. You have to stir the storm in the body. Otherwise, the body will become lethargic and decay and death. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Madha, Maya, Matsara. Your sins have to be breathed out from your character and personality. Only then, once your ego is annihilated, because sins are attached to ahankar. Ahankar is ama. They produce toxins in the body. Ego produces toxins, anger produces toxins, jealousy produces toxins, ulcers, blood pressure issues, heart issues, constipation. People who are conjuice, they have maximum constipation problem because they are constricted. They are not in flow. And people who are philanthropic will probably never have heart diseases because the flow of compassion is always there. It directly commensurates with your blood flow of your breath rhythm as well, and flow of happy hormones. When you see the world happy, where you've contributed in that world to make them happy. So this is how sanskaras and gunas and sanskriti can become medicine. Of course, we use food as medicine, breath as medicine. I use a lot of sunlight as medicine, getting people to bask under sunlight. And I take people out for therapies to temples. If it is a Muslim, to a mosque. If it is a Christian, to a Catholic church. Because the energy fields over there, they bring positivity and faith up. Then I take people to seasides, gardens, purity of nature. So right from air to the pristineness, egoless nature. So the body stops reacting because there is nobody to react or defend against. And your body surrenders. Yeah? So when you are completely in the state of samarpan, you get samarthan from the nature. You open up. So Dhara Radha, consciousness flow starts. Radha goes out, Dhara comes in, Dhara goes out, Radha comes in. And that is all healing, correcting, reorienting, homeostasis. Okay? So, baseline biology.
So you also, I've heard you say that even aging can be reversed. So many of us online just now look forward to how they can reverse the aging or stop it when they are younger rather than wait until you grow old. Can you just elaborate on this?
Okay, so I'm the living example. I'm 58. I'm completely.
You can
58.
see,
Yeah.
if you had not said, many people would not have believed that you are above 50.
But my physiology and biology is that of 25. Because I have reversed it and I still continuously reverse it. That what you need to avoid is decay. So no decay in your attitude through ego. No decay through sins and lust, vairagya, distancing from desires. Cleansing yourself, shuddhikaran. Then there will be ichha siddhi, vak siddhi, vachan siddhi. Then truthfulness, asatoma sadghamaya, tamsoma jyotirghamaya, mrityumya amrutam ghamaya. So our Sanskriti is so rich, it only knows life, it doesn't know death. Yeah, you can transform, transmigrate, reform. So let me come to the secrets of anti-aging. Herbs, seeds, nuts, dry fruits, vegetables, fruits. And remember, Shuddha Shakahari, Shuddha Shakahari, Shuddha Shakahari. And Yog, Chitta Vritti Nirodha. Karo Yog, Raho Nirog. So Yog, Dhyan, Pranayam, attitude, Vairagya, Shakahari Bhojan, Yog Nidra, Surya Dev, Vayu, Jal, Abhishek, Prithvi, Matha Tek. Mingle with the Vayus, Tattvas, and absorb the elements, dhatus, and absorb their energy because we are made of them. Our body will correspond immediately. The spirit will come alive. The mind will become fresh and empty, like a lotus blooming, not dull and old. Bring joy, bring excitement, laughter, singing, hasya. Swasth ka rahasya is in hasya. Swasth ka rahasya is in hasya. Swasth means स्वयं में उपस्थित, स्वयं में स्थित, स्वयं में आस्था, स्वास्था. हाँ, और चैतन्य भाव, दृष्टा भाव, चैतन्य भाव, दृष्टा भाव, and most important, bodh, jnana, jagruti. So jagruti should be every moment in your life, and you will remain young. Ayurveda says even your eye numbers can come down. Your faculty or hearing faculty can be reversed. Your smelling faculty can be reversed, your taste faculty. And of course, strength, energy, endurance, resilience, perseverance, everything, attention, focus, cognitive strengths, everything can be restored.
Yes, modern science actually says what you say. For instance, the sunlight heals, or
Yeah.
if you increase your metabolism by exercise, then keeping yourself healthy with thoughts as well as deeds
Huh.
helps you. There's also a program going on plant-based whole foods where people even talk of not taking dairy, etc. Is there any opinion that you have on that?
Veganism is the purest form of eating. So veganism you can compare with the Jain's way of eating also. Although Jains consume dairy, but Jain's way of eating is very clean and pure. The objective is clean and pure. But veganism primarily is no consumption of animal products. No honey, no eggs, no dairy. That is what veganism is all about. And being free from animal products is reducing and cutting your chances, the probability amplitude of you contracting disease, ailments, decay, death. So you don't subject yourself to that. Correct? You cut down your chances. But you being a vegan, but if you don't do exercise, if you don't do breathing, if you don't sleep well, if your kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mad, maya, matsara quotient is not in place, it may not work. Eventually, mind is your medicine. Eventually, mind maximizes your internal medicine. Watching your mind. So when we perceive through five senses, each senses gives us bits and pieces of millions of bits and pieces of information. So through five senses, we get thousands of bits and pieces of information at any given point in time. These pieces makes our mind fragmented. But in meditation, when you put these pieces and five senses together, then all the pieces becomes one piece, and that piece translates into PEACE, peace. And that piece translates into healing. Agitated mind, disturbed mind doesn't allow you to heal, restore, reorient. Conflicting mind, contradicting mind. So empty the mind, mind the emptiness. Empty the mind of the junk thoughts and fill it up with the light of awareness. This is perhaps what the West call it mindfulness. They get most of the things completely wrong, but when they say mindfulness, they talk about concentration. No, mindfulness is letting go. When you let go of everything, only then you fill it up with the light of awareness. Chaitanya Bhav, Bodh, Jagruti, Anubhav and Anubhuti.
Mickey, in today's this COVID environment, we see a lot of people agitating, fighting, talking about things in different manners. What can India do to come as one? And we have such wonderful ideas which have worked for thousands of years. How do
Yeah.
we go about to bring peace and less disaster to COVID?
I'll give you a small story. Two monks were walking past the forest, and there came a deep river, and they saw a lady who was completely drenched, just about saved herself from drowning, sitting at the riverbank. So one monk, without even thinking twice, lifted the lady up and crossed the riverbank and dropped the lady and continued the journey. After a few miles, the other monk who was a witness to it asked the monk who saved the lady's life and said that you didn't think twice before picking the lady up. The monk says that I dropped the lady 3 miles back. You are still carrying her. Understood? We are unnecessarily giving importance to COVID. We are still carrying it in the mind day by day. Your life is so secured, so protected. We don't have to think about COVID. What we need to think about of a larger expanse of arogya, life. Now, on the ladder of evolution, we come from animals. We were probably rodents, reptiles once upon a time. We were probably a speck of a chemical on the rim of a volcano, which took life force after billions of years. So that speck was called chemolitho-autotrophic hypothermophile. To today, we've become conscious human beings. So on the ladder of evolution, only a man can climb and rise higher than gods or fall below animals. It is because what we want to carry as memory and pay attention to, what we pay attention to becomes strong in us. You give attention to COVID, COVID will become more powerful. That is why in Dhyan, you neutralize every aspect of life, so the attention is dissolved and awareness takes birth. You understand? Now I'll come to the point that yes, of course, diseases around you, like lotus in the muck, कमल की भांति जियो, जैसे कमल कीचड़ में होता है. साफ सुथरा जीवन, शरीर साफ, मन साफ, तन साफ, आत्मा साफ, भाव साफ, भावना साफ. फिर सिद्धियां आएगी आपको. स्वास्थ्य की सिद्धि भी एक सिद्धि होती है, और ये सारी सिद्धियों से हमारा भारत स्वस्थ बन सकता है. लेट्स डू वन थिंग. शंकर जी, ये शंकर जी राइट?
हाँ, बोलिए बोलिए. हाँ,
शंकर जी, बीएससी के द्वारा और बीएससी के जितने पार्टनर्स हैं, लेट्स स्टार्ट अ स्वस्थ भारत मस्त भारत अभियान. कम ऑन, लेट्स स्टार्ट दैट. I will partner.
we already have started it. In fact, I am going to mention it later also.
Yeah.
Every year we have something called a BSc Bull Run,
हाँ.
in which we have thousands of people participating.
तो चलो उसके साथ साथ हम लोग योग और ध्यान भी करेंगे. And I will be your
Yes.
partner. I will not charge your dime. This is in the interest.
Thank you very much.
This is in the interest of we becoming, as BSc, we will set an example to India, and we will share our knowledge, wisdom to everybody. We will reach every home, either through social media or through multimedia, whichever way. So
Yes, thank you. We will surely.
yeah, so let's take this forward, and we can do a disease-free India Abhiyan, Swasth Bharat, Mast Bharat Abhiyan, and we can take a 3-year objective and target. In 3 years' time, we will bring down the graph of diabetes, graph of hypertension, graph of asthma, graph of occurrences of cancers, TBs, bronchitis, lung diseases, autoimmune diseases, HIV, everything down only with lifestyle and food. And it is possible. It is not a tall order. All you need is Anushasan. All you need is discipline and intent. You need Shraddha Saburi. You need Dhairya. And if your institution wants to take this up, I will spearhead this for you. And
Definitely, I'll take you on your offer.
Please, and we will bring glory to India, the glory of wellness to India once again, under the aegis and auspices of BSc.
BSc has been in existence for more than 145 years now. We've gone through our ups and downs. but
Wow.
that is resilience.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I'm sure that human resilience is quite good. And
yeah,
with
yeah.
your help and support, I just want you to pass on a message to all Indians because
Tell
you
me.
are on live right now.
Hmm.
How do we fight not only this disease, but in future also we'll have lots of these things coming. We have to be prepared, unlike being prepared last time. So, what would
Okay.
your suggestions be there?
So let us understand there is nobody out there to fight with. The position of fight for COVID, fight to COVID, or fight with COVID is a negative position. Nakaratmak. Sakaratmak position is internalize everything and fortify yourself. So we have, see, we can do, there's ashwagandha, brahmin, tulsi, amla, giloy, aloe vera, and most important, bhai sahab, most important, Desi Chawanprash is the world's best immunity tonic. Dhut Papeshwar has the best Chawanprash, Dhut Papeshwar. It is called Swamla. Also, there are ashwagandha kadas, which are anabolic in nature but without steroids. For hypertension, one can take Saraswat Rishta Kada. But please do it under medical supervision of an Ayurveda or a consultant. I'm just suggesting, don't blindly take medicines. Okay? So take it under proper supervision to improve your condition. So if Swasth ki paribhasha is not the absence of disease. Swasth ki paribhasha is invincible immunity. So in these times or any times, as man becomes modern, diseases will get maximized. Because modernization will kill the naturalism of the universe. Modernism will kill the mindset. The man has become insensitive, overtly practical, heartless, emotionless. So we have to heal the man's mind. So it has to be a multi-pronged effort of dhyana, dharana, pranayama, asana. You know, asana means seat of consciousness. Asana. Asana doesn't mean just a posture. English language is so shallow. It does not have appropriate deep meanings and translations for our Sanskrit. And by the way, Sanskrit is not a language, it is a perfect science. So asanas means asan yoga seat of consciousness. Yoga is yoga postures in poetry, flow, rhythm. Now, in asanas, let's say you are in Dhanurasana. Dhanurasana, your body is balancing on a pinpoint of a stomach. Your mind learns to balance steadily. So your mind learns to become steady. Your mind learns to be steady amidst the tension in the polarities. Shiva Shakti, Chandra Surya, Hatha, Yin Yang. Now, your mind learns patience because it is holding a posture, doing nothing. Then your mind learns tolerance, your physical strain, tenacity, resilience because of holding the posture. Now, let's go into philosophy of Dhanurasana. In a bow and arrow, the credit always goes to the arrow, but the reality is the bow. Without the bow, the arrow cannot align. Without the bow, the arrow cannot hit the target. Without the bow, the arrow will not have trajectory. So all the wealthy people in India should give credit to BSc because without BSc, they wouldn't be wealthy.
There is one more question. I hear from all people who are busy, especially
Ah.
people who are working at senior positions or running businesses, that they don't have time. And I really find it funny because the
Yeah.
whole thing, the whole objective of what you do is for
Ah.
making life better, not only for you, but for your colleagues, for the people who depend on you. But if you are not going to give time to make it better, how do you achieve it? So, any suggestions of those people?
Yeah. So first, let me go to the philosophical part. In Sanskrit, time means kal, and kal means death. So time is equal to death. Time consciousness is death consciousness because time is running out. It's an hourglass concept. Okay, time is running. So that means you're going close to death. Now, time also means history, Kal. So, time always takes you to the past. All right? And timelessness makes you full in now. Now, let me tell you, I think the busiest office on this earth would be the President of United States. Whosoever president is doesn't matter. But don't you think the busiest office on this earth would be the President of United States? Now, when Bill Clinton, when he was the President of United States, he had a lot of time to do everything he wanted to do. Right? So if Bill Clinton could find time to do everything he wanted to do in his life, we all can find time. So Shankar Sahab, वैसे शंकर जी, I am a Shiv Bhakt. I am a Shiv Bhakt. हाँ? तो जय हो.
Jai Ho.
Om Namah Shivaya. So, let me tell you that let's say today you say, okay, let me grab 5 minutes of my life and put it in my right pocket. And I will exercise for 5 minutes every day for 1 month. Then the next month you grab another 5 minutes and put it in your left pocket. Third month you take another 5 minutes in your back pocket. Fourth month you take another 5 minutes in your rear pocket. You have now 20 minutes in 4 months' time. In a year's time, you will find your 60 minutes. So slowly, tortoise, kachwe ki chal, talmil ke saath. And trust me, every small baby step taken towards wellness will take you away from madness. You will become sane again. 99% of human beings are walking towards death every day. Only 0.1% or 0.0001% are probably working towards life only, walking towards life. So the destiny is in our hands. You can co-create it. You have legs to walk towards it, hands to make it, mind to perceive it, heart to believe it, and a soul to achieve it. Rig Veda says, we are what our deepest desires are. As are our desires, so will be our will. As will be our will, so will be our intentions. As will be our intentions, so will be our deeds. And as will be our deeds, so will be our destiny. So make your own destiny of a deathless life. You will let go of life, but life should not kill you.
That was a very good way of letting people know that you can start with 5 minutes. But I can assure you, even when I tell my team colleagues, please walk for a few minutes in between. No one asks you to sit on your seat. You can just go down, have a cup of tea if you want to. That increases your calories, I know, but at least it makes them walk.
Absolutely.
And walking is the easiest exercise naturally to human beings. And another thing I always tell, like I see you sometimes, and I tell people, no one stops you to sit in the asanas at home. I find that if you sit for a puja, people can't sit for more than 5 minutes with their legs crossed. Because we are all used to sitting in the sitting position on a chair. What are your views about such small asanas, which we don't even realize that they are asanas? Even keeping your back straight is a difficult task for many people. Usage of pillow while sleeping. All these things are important when you take your health.
Now, most of the problems of the health of mankind, they emanate from the mind, subconscious. So, egoistic, arrogant, anger-filled people will have neck and back issues a lot. Most, because they're constricted. Okay, for people who are very stingy, and they will have a lot of constipation issues, and that constipation will further translate into further problems of kidney, liver, intestines, or whatever. People who have high fire of absolute anger, etc. So agility of the mind translates into agility of the body and vice versa. So let's say you take the path of Bhakti Yoga. In Bhakti Yoga, your mind gets annihilated. Your ego gets annihilated. So your body begins to open up, your mind begins to open up. So the tightness of the bones and the muscles begin to relax. Or you start with Hatha Yoga. In Hatha Yoga, you open your body and automatically your mind will open. So body becomes agile, mind becomes agile. Mind relaxes and lets go, the body relaxes and lets go. That's the beauty of yoga. योग, जुड़ना, एकजुट होना, और उसमें से जो सच्चाई प्रकट होगी, it will be a new reality of a new man, new consciousness, new awareness. योग, युज, योग, केवल्य, केवल्य की दशा, केवल्य की अवस्था. So, we as human beings, when we work on our personality, see, we have to work on our prakriti. Ayurveda gives you medicine as per your prakriti. And as per your prakriti, as per the state of your mind, ego, characteristics, Ayurveda gives you medicine. And that translates in your mind and makes those changes in your biochemistry. So, where there is love in the mind, your brain expresses a different biochemistry. When there is anger in your mind, your brain expresses a different biochemistry. If we redirect our thoughts in our brain and create new thoughts, then your brain will learn to create only positive biochemistry. So redirect your thoughts, open up your mind, your body will begin to loosen up. Loosen up your body, your mind will begin to get agile. So you come back to, once again, योग, ध्यान, प्राणायाम, Ayurveda, पौष्टिक भोजन, and दान पुण्य करो, दान पुण्य. If you want good arogya life, just do lots of charity, give away. You give away, you are letting go. Vairagya, give away, give away, give away. You know, if we've heard, haven't we heard, in India, the Tatas, Birlas were always giving, giving, giving. Godrej is always giving, giving, giving. So give, give, give. Of course, recently Reliance has started foundation and doing very well too.
Maybe I'll ask you one question from my side, last question, and
Yes,
I can request other people who are on WebEx who might ask the questions on FB Live. And
yeah,
that question is a little personal. I want to
yeah.
know how you started your journey towards holistic fitness and wellness.
So after finishing school, I hardly went to college, but I did go, but wasn't a success there. I always attended college canteen, but never college, because I was always very much interested in exercise, giving massages to my cousins and my dad. So I have skills in my hands. So nature's gift. Then, of course, in my attitude, my dad had always instilled faith, prayers, spirituality. So that was a part of it. Then I got into martial arts through my cousins. So I grew in martial arts. And then I went into bodybuilding, swimming, yoga, philosophy, spirituality, now deep into philosophy and spirituality. So I use a lot of philosophy and spirituality for healing methodology. I also use breath as medicine, sunshine as medicine, moon phases as medicine, then meditation as medicine, sleep as meditation, then food as medicine, then Ayurveda as medicine, then yoga as medicine. And all these are better healers and facilitators of restoration of wellness than any allopathic medicine. But allopathic medicine is a big boon to mankind for SOS. It is a big boon to mankind. And I would say 60 to 70% of allopathy doctors and surgeons I know personally, they are first healers, then they are doctors. They are so compassionate that when when an old senior citizen is in pain, and if we say that Dr. Joshi is coming, the wellness starts, the healing starts. It only starts with the information that Dr. Joshi is on the way. Trust you me, believe you me, that if a patient talks to his doctor and doctor says, wait, don't worry, I'm on my way. That's the healing starts when the information goes in your ears. So in India, because of our Sanskriti, our doctors are spiritually inclined to heal people. Medicine is secondary. They use medicine, but first they use their compassion, their love, and sensitivity. They are not treating a body a machine. They are treating an emotional, psychological, spiritual human being. So love, compassion, empathy is the only way.
So I'll ask my colleagues now who are on WebEx,
Ha,
all those audience on WebEx, they can
ha.
unmute their mic and ask a question or two. We have a few minutes left before we can conclude the program. So if anyone has questions, Kalpit, please allow them to unmute and talk.
Yes, yes. Hmm. You are you part of Bombay Stock Exchange or you part of you? Okay. So let me tell you, investing in well-being is probably like investing in Bombay Stock Exchange. You need the right attitude and the mindset of not making money but earning money on merits. So well-being is about adding merits of wellness to the human society and the environment. You have to invest your complete life and devote and dedicate your complete life to it for the upliftment of mankind. So I tell people that for the best biceps, exercise for the best bicep is uplift the poor. The best exercise for shoulders is to take responsibilities of the underprivileged. The best exercise for strong legs is to be rooted in humility, to be better rooted in humanity. So, your attitude towards wellness and well being should be uplifting mankind's joy quotient, happiness quotient, fitness, health, wellness, well being through food, through exercise, through breathing, and for which you have to become a masterpiece of lead by example. If you don't lead by example, how else your client who becomes your subject, who becomes your family? When I look after personal clients one on one, when I do consultations, when I look after terminally ill people or senior citizens or challenging health conditions, they become my family first. They don't remain my clients. I pray for them, I meditate for them, I bring them the divine blessings. So that kind of intimacy should come about in your attitude. Only then you will be able to be a good wellness professional. So that commitment level should be very high, very high. It's not about making money, it's about earning money. It's about earning goodwill. It's about earning the blessings. So, chakras are subtle energy stations, centers, which now quantum physics is beginning to validate and has started referencing to these subtle energies which represent separate and associate with different functions of our body, higher functions of higher awareness, altered consciousness, and altered states of healing. Because when your mind goes to different realms of alpha, beta, theta, delta, your body transforms into different states of healing, and your endocrine, your genes begin to express in higher states of their wellness and well being and awareness. So, chakras can be activated by stilling and silencing yourself, number one. Chakras can also be influenced and impacted by clean, green food and consciously eating it. Regional, seasonal. Chakras can be activated and impacted, influenced with your thought process, programming, new programming of your mind, positivity, affirmations, visualizations, sankalp. Sankalp se siddhi. Recently, I participated with a program with Shivani ji, Sister Shivani, and it was a fun thing working with her. Sankalp se siddhi, determination. So all these aspects put together, purifying yourself, regulating yourself, fortifying yourself, yoga asanas, yoga nidra, and adding value to universal consciousness. That's the way. When you become the one of the 7 billion hearts that throbs for wellness, your chakras will activate. The larger realm and dimensions you connect with, your chakras get activated. Mantras, your chakras get activated. But everything with the right attitude, Shraddha, Saburi, Dhairya, Vairagya, and deep interest, deep sincerity, devotion. When things go against you in some way, you and only you are responsible, either in your conscious state of mind or subconscious hindsight. If you go layer after layer behind, you'll probably understand your and take responsibility. So, grace, swikriti, and then responsibility, uttardayitva, very important. And samasya and samadhan. So remember, samadhans are constant, samasyas are temporary. So you align with samadhan, and samasyas will be you will be able to deal with them. So solutions are always the constant. Problems come and go. They are the temporary, I would say, transient phenomena. And we give rise to problems. So take charge, take responsibility, and solve it.
So,
Yeah.
Mickey, very good session. We
Hmm.
enjoyed the last 1 hour with you. It
Yes.
was very kind of you to offer us, and thanks to Brokers Forum, Mr. Wispy
Thanks to Vispi
and
Bhatela and
Uttam Bagri, both.
Uttam. And thanks to
Yes,
Ashish ji also, thanks to Shankar ji, and thanks to all our associates who participated today.
all. In fact, Kalpit, Kiran, and Sheetal have actively made sure that this works well.
Yeah,
And
good,
I'm
good.
very glad that we could hear today. I will take you on your offer to help
Yes,
us for having a Swasth Bharat mission. We
Swachh
already
Bharat
have taken
Mazbar.
we have already participated in many
हाँ,
of such ventures, including for women, etc. Uh, the doctors have helped us, and we are in constant touch with most of the other institutions to get this thing done. But thank you very much. And
yep.
this is Shankar Jadhav from BSE signing off along with Mickey Mehta, and we'll all be healthy. Thank you very much. Have a
So
nice day.
my last words would be that love yourself, love everybody. Love is the single most creative energy on this earth. With love, you can heal every disease. Nothing to fight out there, everything to love, watch, take responsibility, take charge, and then get energized, get naturalized, get maximized, get optimized, get internalized, get eternalized, get evolutionized, get revolutionized, get mesmerized, get hypnotized, get specialized, get revitalized, get regularized, get initialized, get Mickeyized.
And we should thank all the audience. There have been lots of